I shot BTS content in the sound studio for the Raid Call of the Arbiter series earlier this year, and it is just taking over on YouTube right now. So if you're new here, I'm Cody Love and I run Everything All the Time Productions that specializes in documentary style marketing videos, but also every once in a while I shoot a little bit of BTS and social content. So going into this project, I had no idea what Raid Shadow Legends even was. And just in case you don't know, it's a fantasy video game for mobile. So one of my good friends, Josie O'Brien, is the production manager for this project, and she hit me up saying that they needed some BTS content for this animated show that they were making based off of a video game, and I just thought, awesome, let me know when and where, and I'll be there. I had no concept of the huge following of the game and now the show and all the content they produce, which is actually super cool.
It is your purpose.
And personally, I really enjoy shooting BTS content because you get to take an in-depth look into different industries and projects, meet all the people that are actually responsible for making it, which is always good networking for your production company. And not only is it fun to shoot, but I actually watch a lot of this type of content. I think it's really cool to see how different shows and movies get made. And it can give the viewers a chance to see their favorite actors and actresses playing their favorite characters in a more casual setting as opposed to promoting something in an interview. Also, if you're someone like me who runs their own production company or is freelancing, it can be a pretty solid niche to target because there is a lot of work out there for that style of content. So here's the behind the scenes of how I shot the behind the scenes for Raid Call of the Arbiter. Raid Call of the Arbiter. Do this and get the BTS of the BTS. Really get meta.
It's the story behind the story behind the story.
This turned out to be a 3-day shoot over the course of about a month at the end of last year and beginning of this year. I was hired to shoot in the sound studio as the actors came in and did their ADR for their characters and lines and action sound effects and grunts and moans and everything that their characters did. Also, they wanted to record the directors and the audio technicians doing their thing, as well as shoot interviews with all the actors and directors on set. So here is how I shot it. So the first day that I was heading out to the studio, I didn't really know what to expect because I had never worked with this client before and I had never worked at this location before. So normally in a situation like that, I just bring as much gear as I possibly can because I don't know exactly what they'll be expecting and I want to be prepared for whatever comes up. Anything that I think I could possibly use just in case that is what they were looking for, and I would be ready. When you're going to a shoot and you don't have a ton of prep time and clarity, it is much better to show up over-prepared and put in a little bit extra time to prep that gear instead of show up under-prepared and the client says, oh, hey, can you do this? And you didn't bring that piece of equipment and you won't be able to deliver. So I brought everything. I brought 2 big aperture lights in my Pelican case, a third backup light, a little small LED as a backup, Canon, my 2 multiple Sonys, tripods, my lenses, stands, monitors, those my drone, lavalier mics, backup mics, BTS Zoom recorder, all the goods. I was ready. Luckily, Carly was there with me on the first day, so she was able to help me set up and operate everything as well. However, turns out they were expecting a much simpler setup, and in general, for most behind-the-scenes content, you kind of want to be pretty flexible and mobile because you're capturing things in the moment. You don't want to have to take a bunch of time to set up or create a look or a shot. You want to be able to quickly pivot and capture things live. The biggest challenge that I was expecting was the amount of time it would take for me to set up the lights and audio equipment as well as run 2 cameras with just Carly and I on that first day, and then for the next 2 days, just me by myself. But luckily, one of the biggest time savers during setup was I only needed to record audio for the interviews because the actors in the sound booth were already being recorded by the audio technician, and he was kind enough to just send me that audio, which I could use in post. Another big time saver and a pro tip that I learned on this set is that if you're recording in the sound booth with the actors, a lot of times the bigger lights aren't good to use in that situation because they have big battery packs and fans that create a tiny bit of noise, and you and I would never notice it, but when you're in a completely soundproof room with super powerful mics, they pick up on a slight humming that those battery packs make, and you can't use those in the booth. So luckily I brought my LED ring light, which I could use to create a little bit more light in the booth and not need to take the time to set up the bigger aperture lights. So basically in the booth, I would set up a camera on a tripod to capture a chest shot of the actor recording his lines. And then I would use my second camera as a rover camera and just be handheld, getting B-roll, as well as getting other angles of the talent as they're recording. Meanwhile, Carly was in the other room with the third camera, and she was recording the audio technician, the voice director giving his notes, as well as just B-roll of the whole process and all that other fun stuff going on. We did put the Rode mics on the cameras just to get slightly better audio straight out of camera, but for the most part, we just used the audio that they were all there to record, which made it super easy on us. At the end of each day, we would do interviews with the actor that was performing that day, as well as with the directors. And for those, I would mic them up using my lav mics just to have a second audio backup. But even for those interviews, we still use the audio technician setup as the primary audio to get the best sound possible. One tip I will say if you're going to shoot BTS content is to be proactive with your shots. Because little moments matter when you're editing something like that together, it's important to stay alert, and it's much better to overshoot a little bit on a BTS project than missing things. It's much better feedback from the client when they ask you to stop recording when they don't want something on camera versus them asking you to start recording to make sure you're getting everything. And this advice isn't true on every set. It can be a huge hassle when you have a ton of unnecessary footage when you're editing something. But overall, for BTS, it's better to err on the side of getting too much than not getting enough. And this is especially true when you're not editing it and you don't know the exact idea of how it will be used. Boom.
Raid Call of the Arbiter.
So over the 3 days in the studio, I ended up interviewing Chia Court, who plays El Hain, Chris Tergliafera, I have no idea if that's how you say it, who plays Gaelic, Kimberly Woods, who is the actress who played Ethel, as well as the voice director Wes Gleason, the director Jay Oliva, and the creative supervisor who was the original voice of Gaelic, Nick Day. And of course, special shout out to the audio technicians and the lovely Carly O'Brien who helped me shoot it all. Everyone on this project was so great and professional and just fun to work with. It makes a lot of sense that the show is being so well received and that it's having the amount of success it's having right at its launch, because the whole team and everyone working on it seemed so invested and passionate about bringing this project to life.
That was awesome, guys.
Oh, so much fun, yeah. So thank you for playing.
Also, one last cool unexpected thing happened where they put my production company, Carly, and I in the credits on every single episode. I was totally not expecting that, but now you can check us out if you go to the Raid Call of the Arbiter series on YouTube. You go to the description, then you click the link to the full credits in the description, and then you wait about 2 minutes to the very bottom of the credits, and you'll see Everything All the Time Productions with Cody and Carly Love, which is just super cool. Thanks for watching. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me for more filmmaking tips.